Hello, I'm Rob and welcome to R&B Reviews. Now, I'm going to be doing something that I've never done before, and that is I'm going to be doing two reviews of the same movie, and this is, of course, Star Wars The Force Awakens, which is a movie where I think the little you know about it going in, the better. I already did a spoiler-free video, and now I'm going to be doing a spoiler video. So if you have not seen Star Wars The Force Awakens, don't watch this video any further, go check it out, or you can check out the spoiler-free video. Awakens is a movie that a lot of people were really looking forward to, and I gotta say, even though I don't think it's quite as good as the original trilogy, it was nonetheless a fun experience. Definitely when I was watching the movie, I could definitely tell that 30 years or so have passed since the end of Return of the Jedi. For example, on Rey's planet, you can see, old Empire ships and other things laying around, and she and other characters use, scraps from the ships for whatever they can to trade in to make money in order to survive on that planet. Performance-wise, I think pretty much everybody was really good. Daisy Ridley as Rey, I thought was terrific as the strong, independent character. I thought she really has a very good expressive face, and she and Finn have great moments together. Now, I also like the character of Finn. He's played by John Boyega. He's the ex-stormtrooper. I found his not wanting to fight for the First Order to be kind of relatable, especially now with people tired of war and soldiers coming back with all kinds of problems. Finn just doesn't want to kill anymore, and there's a shot in the movie where a fellow stormtrooper dies in front of him and there's blood all over his uniform. So he's tired of fighting, and I found Boyega to be, at first I kind of found him to be a touch over the top in the beginning, but I think as the movie went on, I thought he calmed down, became more comfortable, and he and Rey are kind of new to this experience. And their interactions to fighting, in space with other aliens and, being part of the rebellion and fighting the Order, their reactions and the Millennium Falcon, they're really surprised that they're on the Millennium Falcon when they find it. And, their reactions to this thing that they always heard is just plain stories, it blows their mind. It's really believable, and I thought they did a good job conveying that. Another new character that I liked was Kylo Ren, played by Adam Driver. Now, he's been seduced by the dark side of the Force, but he's kind of struggling to stay there, and occasionally, the light side of the Force, keeps getting to him. He wants to be feared like Darth Vader, but some of the characters, especially some of the rebels, really don't take him seriously. Like during his first appearance on the at a rebel encampment, the rebel leader Poe makes fun of his mask, makes fun of his voice, and stuff like that. As you've probably seen in the movie, he's also Han Solo and Leia's kid, and they both think they're still good inside of him. So the struggling, I thought, was pretty interesting. So he's not just a one-dimensional villain character. I think he wants to, he is kind of struggling, to be this fearful being like Darth Vader, but at the same time, he's sometimes having a hard time keeping that in control. Harrison Ford, I thought, was great as Han Solo, as usual. Even though it had been years since he played the part, I thought he didn't miss a beat. He really jumped in and really brought that character back. Carrie Fisher wasn't given too much to do in this movie as Leia, but I really liked seeing that, the character still cared about Han, and I thought Carrie did a good job with that. And the special effects were really good, I think. The only way I could really describe it is that it wasn't really showy or over the top where you notice them. I mean, they really fit into this, universe that we're in. But my criticism with the special effects is sometimes some of the characters that are CGI definitely came across almost cartoonish. For example, the Supreme Leader, I think his name's Supreme Leader Snork. Every time I saw him, he looked like a cartoon character, and that was one of the criticisms I had with the prequel trilogy, is all these CGI characters don't look realistic or believable. They look like something from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where you got these, live-action people and interacting almost like with cartoons. Some of the other ones, especially at the bar that Han Solo brings, Rey and Finn to, weren't quite as bad. They definitely were better, but Snork, every time I saw him, he really took me out of the picture. It kind of reminded me, what I think they should have done was they should have did what they did with the original theatrical cut of Empire Strikes Back and you could have a shrouded figure, and I like that he was a hologram, but I mean, maybe have an actor do it. So what they did with Empire Strikes Back originally was, they had an actor, and they also superimposed, I think it was a monkey's face on special effect wise, and you know, it was really chilling because you didn't know who exactly this character was. He was like a figure in the shadows, and I just felt like if they had gotten, you know, an actor kind of looking realistic and not using CGI, I would have liked it better. And I'm going to be curious about how he's going to come across in the later movies, whether they're going to keep that up or not. The movie has marvelous on the edge of your seat action scenes, and I really like the comic moments. I thought the dialogue was really crackling because Rey and Finn, you know, even though they do care about each other, you know, as they get into this adventure, they do, you know, get to know each other a bit, and same thing with Han Solo. One criticism that I've been noticing with a lot of moviegoers and some reviewers here on YouTube is that the movie can be a bit derivative. Like, for example, I could definitely see the opening scene reminded me of the opening of The New Hope, where the rebels are, well, in this version, the rebels are in a encampment, and then the villainous First Order comes, you know, and they're looking for a map of where Luke Skywalker is. He's gone missing, just like in the New Hope, they had the plans, you know, and Darth Vader was looking for them. You know, I could definitely see that. And of course, BB-8, the new droid, has the map of Luke Skywalker's location, just like Leia gave the plans to R2-D2 in New Hope. And of course, Han Solo's death, you know, you could definitely see comparisons with Ben Kenobi's death in A New Hope. Now, I admit, when I did see those moments, I was, you know, quickly reminded of these similar moments, and while it did take me out of the movie for maybe a moment, looking back, I think they were definitely essential to the plot of The Force Awakens, where I felt like, you know, I just went along with it, and it did work. I mean, yeah, I could understand some people's frustration with that, but it didn't really bug me too much. And speaking of Han Solo's death, that was the moment, I think this was, for me, the biggest moment for me out of the whole movie, because I was in complete shock, because I honestly did not see that coming at all. Han Solo was my older sister's favorite character when we were watching the Star Wars movies as kids on VHS, and he was always the one that brought sarcastic comic relief to the film. So when Kylo Ren was facing Han, I did kind of remember Obi-Wan's death in New Hope, and I was thinking, is this the direction that they're going to go in? And when I realized that it was, and Han wasn't coming back, I was kind of saddened. Another criticism I had of The Force Awakens is there are a few moments that, you know, come out of nowhere or they aren't explained. Like, for example, C-3PO has a red arm. It doesn't explain why, but I heard there's, you know, like a book or something that explains it. But when I saw that, I was like, why do you have a red arm? And they didn't really explain that. But nonetheless, despite these little nitpicks, I really did enjoy The Force Awakens. I can't wait to see what happens next. Like, for example, I think Rey is Luke's daughter, and I think she and Kylo are cousins, but we will see. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if I would say this is better than the original trilogy, but it was definitely a great big screen adventure that I really, really liked. I don't think it dragged, and I was really involved in the story and the characters for the most part. And like I said, aside with a few little nitpicks I had, like the CGI, a few derivative moments that briefly took me out of the movie, and the sad fact that Han Solo will probably not be in the rest of the movies, I still recommend The Force Awakens, so I can't wait to see the next film. Alright, I've talked long enough. What did you think of The Force Awakens? Go ahead and post your comments about what you liked, dislike about it. Do you disagree with me or agree with me on anything? And if you're interested, go visit the main page, check out some other movies that are currently in the theaters, as well as, you know, available for home movie viewing. Blu-ray, DVD, streaming, Netflix, all of that. Alright, and thank you very much for watching.